What's going on YouTube? So Cadillac's first EV, the Lyriq, has really been on a tear in the first quarter. Its sales have increased over 500% versus last year, and it's currently outselling rivals from Audi, Mercedes, and BMW. Now Cadillac is hoping to build on that momentum with this new and more affordable offering, the OPTIQ. It will serve as the entry point into Cadillac's rapidly expanding lineup of electric SUVs and will be well equipped for about $54,000. So is this new model going to light up the luxury market? Let's go ahead and take a first look and find out. So let's get things started here by taking a look at our exterior design. Now obviously a signature characteristic of the Cadillac electric SUV lineup has really been to have bold designs, and this OPTIQ is no different. You'll notice that the bold look begins up here in the front. So what we have is a crystal design grille. As you can see, it's got a black finish on board that's a little bit different than what you get in, say, a Lyriq. And all these black accents with the grille, as well as down here on our lower fascia, they really serve to give this a more aggressive and sportier look than the Lyriq model. And they also really pop against this paint color that today's model is finished in, called Monarch Orange. Now, in terms of the grille itself, you'll notice that there are lights integrated inside of it. And that's because, just like with the Lyriq, we have really cool light animations that include the grille. So when you walk up to the vehicle, you'll see things like your logo light up, the grille will light up, and then you'll see really cool animations that will go into our headlight cluster. Now, speaking of the headlight cluster, as you can see, it's got that signature Cadillac stacked design. So you've got a bunch of crystals that are going to run through here. You've got your daytime running light and turn signal, or daytime running light that's right there, and your turn signal is up along the top. Now, of course, the thing that really makes a design pop are having nice wheel options. Here on the OPTIQ, we have a 21-inch alloy wheel. This is a dark gray finish on board with the multi-spoke. Overall, this looks quite nice. You also will find that you have gloss black accents that go around your wheel arches, as well as the lower parts of the body. Now you've got your Cadillac logo located right there. We still have a gloss black finish on our mirrors as well. And in terms of the features on board, these are going to be fully loaded. So this has power folding, auto dimming on the driver's side, heating, and blind spot monitoring integrated inside of it.
Now here at the side of the OPTIQ, you're once again going to see that really sleek side profile. One of the things I really like about this vehicle is that it does have that very sporty characteristic. Now, in terms of the overall vehicle length, it's about 186 inches long, which places it kind of in between something like a Cadillac XT5 and a Cadillac Lyriq in terms of overall vehicle length. Now, in terms of design elements, there are some cool things going on here, so I want to talk about this. First of all, we have a two-tone roof finish. That really looks good, especially when paired with this cool orange paint color. And then as we head to this rear quarter panel, this is something really special. So Cadillac actually did a special glass engraving and sketching on this model, and what this is going to do is actually emulate the Cadillac logo. So conveniently, they have the Cadillac logo projected up there, and as you can see, through the taillights into this rear glass, it really just does have that cool Cadillac logo pattern. So that's one of those very unique elements that you're going to find here with the OPTIQ. Now, moving around to the rear design, you're once again going to find a sporty look, but also a unique look from even its sibling, the Cadillac Lyriq. So in terms of some of the design elements, up here at the top, we do have a very large spoiler. It's kind of an aerodynamic shape to it, and then I am noticing that since the glass is sloped off, we do not have a rear wiper. Now, just like the Lyriq, we also are going to have an integrated spoiler through here that's going to be fully blacked out, and then a two-piece taillight design. Now, these taillights not only have like kind of the Cadillac logo pattern etched into the top part, but you also have that down here as well. And they're going to have animation just like the front. So you have a really cool lighting sequence as you approach the vehicle, especially at night. Now, as we head to the badge, we do have a nice design there. And then we have our 450 E4 branding. Down in the lower piece, all of this is going to be finished in a gloss black. And of course, this is an electric vehicle, so you're not going to have any exhaust pipes or anything, but overall, I do like the sporty look. Now, in terms of your safety systems, you are going to have all of your safety systems as standard equipment on this Cadillac OPTIQ. And one of the really nice things that they're including as standard as well is that you're going to get Cadillac's Super Cruise system. So the Super Cruise system, if you don't already know, is a very advanced hands-free highway assistant. And now they've even added availability in secondary roads. We recently sampled that out in a Chevy Traverse, and it is a very, very cool system that you'll definitely want to check out. But guys, there's also a really cool interior you'll want to check out, so let's go ahead and dive into that. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
All right, let's go ahead and check out the interior now. Of course, as we expect from our Cadillac EVs, we do have the pop-out door handle design here, but it's very easy to use. When you walk up to it, it'll just pop on out, and then you can open it up like so. And let's check out the interior. So really, really high-tech look when you're first peeking inside of this cabin. There's a lot of technology. There's also a lot of luxury that we're going to talk about. But let's start things off, of course, as always, by talking about our seats. So we have a seat design here. This is going to be a leather-free material, but it is extremely realistic. A very supple feel to this. I love the perforation, and there's a really nice design to this with all the stitching details that are running throughout. Now, just like with the Lyriq, you do have your seat adjustments up here on the door trim itself. You got a lot of adjustments here. One of the things that's really standing out to me, though, is the fact we got this button right here. This is a massage button. So you are going to have that as an available feature. We also have heated and ventilated seats as well. But let's go ahead and climb inside so we can get into all the specific details of the interior. Now that we're inside here, let's talk about the overall cabin materials. Now, one of the things that Cadillac was emphasizing is that they really wanted to go for a modern luxury approach, something that wasn't using so much like wood and materials like that, but more innovative and fresh, youthful materials. So you will see that reflected inside of this interior, beginning with our door trim. So you'll notice that across a substantial section of our door trim, this is going to be finished in a cloth material. This is called the Collection Cloth Series, and it is made from 100% recyclable materials, excuse me. We do have a leatherette trim down here on our armrest area, and you are going to find metal door handles as well as metal speaker grills throughout the cabin. Now, as we move to the upper part of the dashboard, this is going to be a soft touch plastic material. Through the center section, again, we have more of that cloth trim. You have a vent detailing that's very similar to what you get in the Lyriq, so it's kind of hidden where you don't really see the vents themselves. And then we also have this floating console area as well. This has a different kind of fabric on top of it, and then we even have this piece of glass that kind of looks through onto the cloth below. It's a really cool look, and definitely I see what they're saying. It's a very fresh look as well. Now, let's go ahead and talk about your interior technology, and we'll begin with our main screen here. So this is a 33-inch curved display. So just like with the Lyriq, you have this one massive screen. It has three kind of divisions, but it is all one seamless display. The gauge cluster is going to make up about approximately 12 inches of that display. You'll be able to reconfigure this to all different kinds of information. Let's see if I can go through some options here. There we go. I can go ahead and pull up our Google Map display. You can go into an energy display or just something more traditional if that's what you prefer. This area over here is a touchscreen, and you saw me kind of going through some of the settings on that. One of the things I've got settings for is the fact that we have a head-up display. So this is where I can easily make adjustments to the brightness, the height of that head-up display. Now, as we pull back to the steering wheel, we do have the latest Cadillac design on board. Nice shape to this. It is going to be leather wrapped. You have some piano black accents. Some of these buttons are going to be touch capacitive, and then others are with the knurled metal. I also noticed that we've got the camera monitoring and the little symbol there. That's for the Super Cruise system to keep an eye on you. And then the steering wheel itself is going to be manual tilt and telescoping. We have steering wheel heating located right there as well. All right, so let's take a look at some of the interior storage. This is a very cool look to this, so let's see how practical it's going to be. We'll open this up here. When I first pulled this open, we have like a small little storage cubby, but this actually removes and we have a lot more storage underneath of it. The shape of this is kind of a triangle almost shape, and then we've got our wireless phone charging pad where you can slide your phone in right like that, and then this lid would actually hold it in place to make sure it doesn't move. Now up here we've got our 2 cup holders. We have another little storage shelf here, which I imagine might be a good place to stick your phone. And then this here is what I really want to talk about though. All of this, the Cadillac has kept this completely open. So you've got this full floating effect here. You can stick just about anything in it. And you also have a full shelf located right there where you can stick a loose object like a phone or something like that with your 2 USB ports as well. Now, Cadillac has been able to do that because we have an electronic shifter. So up here, out of the way on the column, you have your electronic shifter, down for drive, up for reverse, of course. We're indoors, so I'm not gonna do that, but we do have a 360 camera, as you would expect as well. One of the cool things about the interior, and one of the things we really applauded the Lyriq for doing as well, was the fact that even though it's a high-tech cabin, they still do keep physical controls for our climate system. So we've got a dual zone automatic climate setup on board, nice metal buttons here to control the temperature as well as your zones and all the functions that you're going to need. Now before I get into the main display, I do want to talk a little bit about the audio system. So this is going to come standard with a 19 speaker AKG audio system. You'll be able to control the volume here with this neural metal control. And as you can see, and I pointed out earlier, you have a lot of real metal speaker grills. One of the cool things about this that kind of makes a cool cohesive design is the fact that the etching in the speaker grill itself matches with the etching that you found on that layered glass panel on the side of the vehicle. So it's really cool to kind of come full circle overall with that. This speaker grills are going to be metal in the back, and they're even going to be metal in the cargo area. So kind of a full metal control there. Now let's go ahead and zero in on the main infotainment system. Now I already said this is a big 33-inch display with a curved design. This section over here, of course, is your main infotainment system. Now this is Cadillac's newest infotainment system, which means, I think the most important thing is the fact that it has Google apps built into it. So you have Google Assistant, you have Google Play Store, you have Google Maps. All those cool apps are going to be built natively into the system itself. I do also notice you've got your drive mode controllers here. Those are your different drive modes, plus you have the My mode where you can customize some of the different elements as you please. We also have 64 color ambient lighting, which you can customize inside of this menu as well. And you can see you have different styles that you can do multiple colors, change the modes, change the brightness. There's really a lot of different options going on here. It actually looks like there's more options than even in the Lyriq that we recently tested out. Now, as we kind of wrap up the front of the interior, we've got an auto dimming mirror. This is going to be a digital camera rear view mirror if you flip that switch. And then taking a look up at the roof, you'll notice we have a panoramic sunroof. This again is another nice standard feature, but just be aware it is a fixed glass roof. So while you do have the sunshade, it's actually not going to open up to the fresh air.
Now let's check out the rear seat area for this all-new Cadillac OPTIQ. Now, there's a lot of good things to talk about back here because Cadillac says we have class-leading space here in the second row, and just sitting back here, I can confirm that, that's for sure. Now, we also have official legroom figures. The Cadillac team was good enough to get us those numbers, and we appreciate it. So we have about 37.8 inches of legroom and about 39 inches of headroom. And one of the things we do in all of our Car Confections reviews is we bring a ruler along to see how much knee space there is with the seat adjusted to Drew, who's 5'8", I'm 5'9" for reference, and we're sitting at a solid 9 inches of additional knee room. Now my feet can slide up underneath the seat, and I also really like that the seat back is kind of covered in a leatherette material. It really feels premium. Now, let's talk about features. Here in the center, we do have vents as standard equipment. Dropping below that, we have a household style outlet, 2 USB-C ports, and 3-stage heated rear seats. So really the full gamut of features in this all-new Optic, and we even have a little storage cubby underneath of that. If we fold down the armrest, there are 2 cup holders inside. If you check out the door trim, you're also going to notice a lot of those same materials from the front, and we even do have that metal speaker grille. It's a very simplistic design, but I really like the overall look of it. Now, walking up to the cargo area, you're probably wondering how much space is this Optic going to have? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Now, of course, you do have a hands-free power tailgate, and there's good news in the cargo area as well. That's because Cadillac says they have class-leading cargo space with the seats in place. It's going to be about 26 cubic feet as they estimate here behind the second row of seats. And if we fold those seats down, we're going to have a maximum of around 57 cubic feet. Now, that's a Cadillac estimate. It's not quite official yet, but I can tell you just by looking at it, there is a lot of space. We review a lot of cars every year, and it seems quite spacious overall. Now, the seats do fold 60-40 split. However, there are not any handles to fold them back here, so I will have to just kind of reach up and fold those seats down. Now, as you can see, it's actually not that difficult to do that. And, you know, I'm not all that tall. I wish I was a little taller, but I'm not quite super tall, so I don't think that'll be an issue for most people. And here at Car Confections, we want to get the measure from the driver's seat to the rear of the cargo area. We're looking at about 72 inches of overall length. From behind the second row, about 36 inches. And then as far as the cargo opening, 41 inches wide, and the cargo height, it does look a little shorter than some other SUVs due to that sleek profile. We're sitting at about 26 inches of overall height. Underneath of the floor, as you can see, we have a little bit of underfloor storage. This would be a great place to put your charger. However, there is not a spare tire.
All right, so now it's time to talk about the powertrain. Now, of course, we've already talked about the fact that this is a full electric product, and this is riding on GM's Ultium electric platform. This specific Optic is going to come with an 89 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack, and that's going to be good for power figures of 288 horsepower and 333 pound-feet of torque from its standard dual motor all-wheel drive system. Now, I'll go ahead and pop open this cover here so you can see, take a look at the charge port here. We do have the illumination around the outside edges there. And speaking of charging, let's talk a little bit about the specifications in regards to that. So range is going to come in at 300 miles. That, of course, is Cadillac estimated for now, so not quite ready for EPA certification at this time, but that is really an important number for any electric product. Another important number is the fact that you can add 70 miles of range in 10 minutes if you're utilizing the DC fast charging system. And we have a dual level charge cord. Now, obviously, this is a studio first look. We're one of the very first people to take a look at this Optic in person. That does mean that we're not going to be driving it today, but we will be driving it in the future. So if you want to see that, definitely make sure you go down below and subscribe.
Now, you're probably curious as to how much all of this is going to cost, and Cadillac says pricing is going to begin at $54,000. Now, they are going to offer this in several different trim levels. It's going to be Luxury 1, Luxury 2, Sport 1, and Sport 2. What you're seeing here today is the Sport 2 trim level. Now, good news is that this vehicle will qualify for the tax credit, so certainly a little bit off that MSRP will be shaved off by a tax credit, so that's certainly good news for this vehicle. And this vehicle is going to be sold all over the world. It's not just for the US market. Now, we don't have official on-sale timing just yet, but this is a 2025 model year vehicle, so we expect it to go on sale either late this year or early 2025. And guys, that's going to be it for our in-depth studio review of the all-new 2025 Cadillac OPTIQ. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, we would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, not only are you going to get access to more car content like this, where we're able to sample out some of the latest cars on the market, you're also going to be a part of our family. And we have a lot of fun on this channel that I'm sure you won't want to miss out on. So please do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. If you're already a fan and subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. You make this all possible, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.